Hello my friends, and welcome back to the rabbit hole, and welcome to another skincare speed reviews video, but this time entirely dedicated to Korean sunscreens. If you are looking for just a quick review on one of the sunscreens in today's video, check the description box below for timestamps as well as links. All of the products in today's video were kindly gifted by Yesstyle. I think they're calling this their sunscreen battle. So a big thank you to Yesstyle for sending these over. If you would like to get a discount on your order, always use a coupon and make sure to stack a rewards code. I'll put mine up on the screen. That always gets you an additional discount, somewhere between 2 and 5% plus the coupon code. So you always want to make sure you're using both. One more quick note before we get into the video. My skin type is dry, acne prone, and a little bit sensitive. It's probably best for me to start the video by reiterating that because it certainly does play into my experience with some of these sunscreens. We are going to be reviewing 3 of your standard lotion type of sunscreens and 2 sun sticks, and I'm only laughing because I know what's coming. Maybe some of you do too. So let's go ahead and get into it. I do want to start with the Isntree Hyaluronic Acid Watery Sun Gel. All 5 sunscreens in this video are an SPF 50+, PA4+. And I feel like this is the perfect place to start this video because there's a pretty decent chance you've tried this or at least you've seen other reviews on this. So I think knowing where I stand with this sunscreen will help to set a good baseline for the other 4 sunscreens. As far as ingredients, this product contains a whopping 6 different forms of chemical filters. I don't think I remembered that there were so many in this sunscreen. It's kind of an interesting mix of older chemical filters and some of the new, your Tenosorb M&S, your Juvenile A+, Parsol SLX, as well as octasalate and homosalate. In addition, it has a ceramide ingredient, 8 different forms of hyaluronic acid, making it live up to its name. And it is a fully fragrance-free product. So in all truth, my thoughts on this are, I do like it, but it's not my absolute favorite sunscreen in all of existence. And for each sunscreen, I will put up on the screen the application. And hopefully you'll be able to see in this sunscreen application that it looks very, should we use the word glowy? I feel like the catch with the word glowy is that some people often perceive it as good. Maybe it is some people's goal in their skincare routine. But I think a lot of people hear the word glowy and think, yeah, that's a bad word. It's just not the goal for everyone in their skincare routine, and yet I feel that this one does leave your skin looking quite glowy. This is all to say, I do like this sunscreen, but it's just not my favorite because of how glowy it looks. In all fairness, it does somewhat decrease through the day, but it's still one of the most glowy looking sunscreens on my skin. So you see that it applies quickly, you see that it is on the dewy side. Now with the addition of how it wears with makeup, I like this with makeup. It works as a nice primer, a nice glowy primer. So I really can't dislike this sunscreen. It's just not in my absolute favorites, which is why I'm gonna give this a solid A. I am grading these sunscreens like a teacher. This is dangerous. If you disagree, feel free to leave your comments in the comment section. The next sunscreen on my list is one from Pyunkang Yule. I did not even know this sunscreen exists. It's called the Calming Sun Cream, and again, SPF 50+, PA4+. For some reason, that's not easy to find. It's not printed on the product, which might be why nobody has heard of this. Now, I recently did a re-review of the Pyunkang Yule brand, and I talked about their other sunscreen as my least favorite product. So I will start this out by saying this is way better. Why have I never heard of this? The ingredients on this are surprising, though. It uses 4 different forms of chemical filters, and only one of those is the newer Korean sunscreen filters that we seem to love. You have some Tenosorb S in here, and then octinoxate, homosalate, and octasalate. But it does have an impressive additional ingredients list. It has some niacinamide, allantoin, panthenol, 4 different forms of hyaluronic acid, the active constituent of licorice, and 4 of those constituents of cica, medecoside, asiatic acid, ingredients that have been studied for their calming benefits. So it is quite well named. But I must say, something very strange happened to me in the application of this product. I can feel this sunscreen on my skin. I don't know if it's just because I have some kind of minor sensitivity to the old school filters that are used, or maybe that gluconolactone in here, which can be an exfoliating ingredient, although I don't know if it's meant to be in this product. Regardless, I can feel the sunscreen on my skin. It's almost a kind of tingling sensation. And I don't know, it just kind of made me feel a little nervous through the day, so much so that, in all truth, I've only worn this once. I think I will go ahead and pass this one along because it's just strange that, you know, most sunscreens, I don't feel anything on my face. Why is my face tingling a bit? Anyway, this is all to tell you, I like this sunscreen. It's actually a beautiful formula. It sits on my skin well. It's a lot less dewy than the Isntree. However, that sensation threw me off a bit. So I've gone ahead and given this an A with the notation to check the filters, see if those work for you. Again, maybe it's that PHA ingredient. I'm not sure. And I didn't react to it, but it made me nervous. Let's go ahead and move along. We have a new-ish sunscreen, the Daily Soft Touch Sunscreen from Purito. Oh, Purito took a long time re-releasing a fully chemical sunscreen, but they did it. And should I spoil things now? This is my favorite sunscreen in this video. We have 4 chemical filters in this, and they are all those new, beautiful, cosmetically elegant filters. It also includes some panthenol, some bisabolol, 5 different forms of ceramides. And let me tell you, I have conversations with people sometimes who say, I haven't found a sunscreen that works for me. It feels like they all break me out. They all cause problems on my skin. I do understand that. I've encountered quite a few sunscreens that my skin doesn't seem to like either, but this is the one that I've worn the most since receiving it, and it's almost as if my skin is better for wearing this. I mean, it's no secret that my skin likes those new elegant filters, but I do wonder if the ceramides in here are playing a big role. I feel like in general, I don't focus as much on ingredients, additional ingredients in my sunscreen, but all I can say is wearing this is actually benefiting my skin. I'm really blown away with this sunscreen, but there is something I have to talk about, and I'm going to go ahead and show it to you in the application. There's a bit of an odd feature in this sunscreen, and that is it kind of dries quickly on your skin, so I've found that for me, I prefer to apply this kind of more in sections. I'll do the lower half of my face first, and then focus more on the upper portion of my face. Yeah, it's surprising because I feel like so many sunscreens take a very long time to set on your skin, whereas this one doesn't. This one sets rapidly. There's also a little bit of a tacky sensation with this, but in all fairness, it doesn't linger long at all, maybe about 5 minutes, and yet it does make for such a gorgeous sunscreen for under makeup or for without makeup. Side note, I'm wearing the new Missha cushion that I hauled for you in that video. Pleased with it so far, I gotta say. But back to Purito, here's my ranking, and you can very clearly see that I absolutely love this sunscreen. It's an A+ sunscreen for me. It's everything I'm looking for. Great under makeup, fast to apply, in between the matte and dewy appearance, no smell at all. Some of these have that faint sunscreen smell. I don't smell anything in this one. It's really as close to perfect as a sunscreen can get, in my opinion. I'm incredibly pleased with it. Well done, Purito. You took a long time getting this one to the market, but the wait was worth it. If at this point in the video you have felt that I have been too lenient on these sunscreens, buckle in, because I have some opinions coming with these sun sticks. Let's start with the Beauty of Joseon Matte Sun Stick, because I have really been trying to make this one work for me. Not only did Yesstyle send me this, but I also bought it, so I really hoped that I would love it, and how to say this? I don't. It'll make sense in just a moment. Let's talk about the ingredients. It has 4 of the new chemical filters in it. It also has some panthenol and some hyaluronic acid in it, as well as mugwort, green tea. And those are ingredients that are great for oily skin, green tea being a wonderful balancing ingredient. But we have to take a moment to talk about some flaws with sun sticks. Lab Muffin put out a wonderful video talking all about how much sun protection you actually get from a sun stick, and spoiler for her video, you really need to apply a ton of a sun stick in order to get the SPF on the packaging. So it's maybe not been a secret that a lot of us do use sun sticks, but for the purpose of reapplication, to touch up your sunscreen. It makes me perplexed that every time I look at the directions on these sun sticks, they never tell you that. They always say to use it as the last step in your skincare routine. No, I fixed your description, Beauty of Joseon. So that's kind of the first thing you should know about, not just this sun stick, but all of them. The second thing you should know is that it truly is matte, which probably means that this one is made for oily skin. The mugwort and green tea were already suggesting that they were. But let me go ahead and show you the application of this product. I did try it on bare skin, and as you can see, it tugs so much on my skin. I think something that was pretty jarring to me in making this clip is you can see how my skin is getting really red just from the force that I'm using to slide this around my very dry skin. Again, this is something that I don't know if it's going to be the same kind of concern for an oily skin type, but it is actually really hard for me to apply this on its own. So here's the, I don't know how fast, I had to speed this up, video clip. I put a ton of this on, and you know, unfortunately, as a consequence of putting a ton of this on my skin, oh, I had a lot of pilling when I went to put makeup on top of this. Oh, it was so bad. Oh, it was so bad. But this clip actually came second because I had tried this over makeup first of all, my preference for using a sun stick. But unfortunately, that didn't really go very well either. It still drags a lot over my set makeup, and more so, it felt really drying on my skin throughout the day. Again, this is something where I don't really want to fault the product. It might just be a simple case of I'm the exact opposite skin type to be using this product, but regardless, it did not go very well for me. It did not sit nicely on my skin. And a final bit of concern, I feel like my skin was a little worse after using this. Keep in mind that I do have acne-prone skin, and I had a few questions about this, so really quickly, in order to get this consistency of a stick, you have to use quite different ingredients. It's the same story with a foundation stick. You have to have certain binders and filler ingredients in these to get that consistency that would give you a stick. And it just seems that doesn't work out for every person. I'm really trying to be fair in this ranking. You can let me know if it's unfair. It might be. But I have to go with my gut and say that I just really personally did not like this. Again, I'm the exact opposite skin type. So I do want to respect that it actually is a matte sunscreen. Those are very hard to find, but I hated it both before as well as after makeup. So I feel in the end that this is really a sunscreen that has a very narrow audience. You have to be somebody who has oily skin, you have to be somebody who does not wear makeup, and frankly, I think you probably should be someone who is buying this just for touch-ups. Even though you can pile it on, I'm just still not comfortable telling you that a sun stick is the ideal base sunscreen for day-to-day use. We are on our final sunscreen for this video. It is another sun stick, and this one is by Tocobo. I hope I'm saying that correctly. This is also the only sunscreen in this video that does contain fragrance, just as a heads up for those of you that can't use those ingredients. As far as ingredients in this one does contain 5 different forms of chemical filters. It has a little bit of titanium dioxide, but based on where it was in the ingredients list, I'm not sure if it's being used as a filter or maybe as a part of the color in the product. It's difficult to say always the limitations of looking at just the ingredients list. It also does have some bisabolol. It has some anti-sebum P. This one is meant to be a good choice for people that have oily skin without being too mattifying. Again, it does include some fragrance, and I'll go ahead and show you the reapplication over my makeup with this one. I have to be honest that with all of the hype I'd heard with this, I didn't feel quite as blown away as I expected I would be. It did work over my makeup, but I definitely had to spend some time after this application kind of blending it into my foundation a bit more, you know, kind of defeating the purpose of using a sun stick without having to touch your face. I absolutely had to touch my face because it had just kind of broken up my makeup just a little bit. Nothing too bad, but also, you know, not something that's my absolute favorite thing to experience. And so in our final ranking, and again, I have to say this is the only product where you actually do smell something in this, and it's kind of a floral smell. I do like that it is in between a matte and dewy finish. Even that is hard to find in sunscreens. Most of them lean towards being much more dewy. But again, this one says it has some anti-sebum ingredients. That, as well as, again, the structure of a stick itself, might explain why that is. But the fact that it broke up on me kind of made me want to break up with it. Thus, in an attempt to be as fair as I can, I'll give it a B. But it's probably also not going to replace my absolute favorite sun sticks. In case you are interested in knowing what those are, it would still be Isntree's. Yeah, Isntree's liquid is not my favorite, but I do love their sun stick. And my friends, that brings us to the end of a roundup of 5 different Korean sunscreens. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and don't forget to tell me what future sunscreens you would like to see me review on this channel. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe. Have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you all next time.